First of all, we'll start with item 1 on the agenda, apologies for absence. Councillor Tyler. Thank you. Item 2, declarations of interest. No declarations of interest. Item 3, minutes of the last meeting. Is everyone happy that these are a true reflection of what happened at the last meeting? Could I have a proposal, please? And seconder.
Oh, actually, can I just, it's just a spelling correction.
Okay.
I noticed earlier today. I think it's, I don't know what page it's on, but it's where it says about the picnics. Rise is just RY''S.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine. It's
Yeah,
just
okay.
my
Correct.
rise.
Okay, so we'll do that again. Are we all happy that these are correct?
Yes.
Reflection of the minutes with the amendment, spelling amendment. Could I have a proposal, please? And seconder, Taylor, and all those in favour? Thank you. I've just got to switch this thing on. Right. Okay. Now matters arising. I'll whiz through these because a lot of these have now been addressed over the last couple of weeks. Councillor Taylor will ask her dad to assist with decorating the home. Yeah. Queen's Square is up in colour. Pin and the shop over. To move the decorating. Councilman coordinate from Emma to move the times, but we'll come on to that in the main agenda. Item 7, youth event, again that's in hand. Saturday parade, yeah, that's in hand. Council toilets, from
Yes,
toilets been cancelled,
toilets.
yeah, council toilets, these have been cancelled. Edenside to Queen Square, it says on here beginning at 12:30, actually, but we'll discuss that when we get to the Jubilee thing. Army cadets have been asked. Rise Bar and Grill are coordinating the Teddy picnic. Guide your street parties. We haven't actually addressed that yet, so that's something. Did we put something on like street parties?
Yeah,
yeah, that has been. Yeah, that's been done. Bookmarks done and ordered. Program events to be launched after Easter. Well, that's about to be done. Planting trees has been handed to environment, hopefully, or something about.
The scouts are doing something
Scouts,
anyway,
Scouts,
so
yeah.
it is happening.
Yeah. Right. So there's a couple of items here which I think possibly need to be moved to an agenda, not the next meeting, but after the Jubilee Community Forum.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we move that to not the next meeting? It's have to be into the June meeting.
We can do, but as far as I was aware, I was just setting that up.
Right.
So do we need it?
Do we need to discuss that with the other agencies in the town? Or are we just going to set a date?
I was going to invite them.
Okay. Can you set that up? Yeah. Okay. Town trails, I'll speak to council whether we're going to postpone that. Right, so that is matters arising. Anybody got anything else they want to raise on matters arising? Public participation, item 5. Jubilee budget update.
Okay, Jubilee budget update. So we have out of our 5,000, bearing in mind we've not attracted any sponsorship yet, we have left £1,314. That incorporates, do you want me to give you a quick run through what that covers? Would you all like to know? Yeah. That covers gifts for school children.
Sorry, Do you mean that this 1314 has to include all?
No,
Oh,
this is once we've paid for, so this
Right.
is what we've paid for. So we've got, some of these things need to be ratified today. So we've got the bookmarks are on there. A donation to the Heritage for decorating the hall, which is a fixing agreement today. The same for the youth people. The purchase of the bunting flag, handheld flags and picnic boxes. The fake games for Saturday. Face painter that we have for Saturday, and the children's disco, and it also includes a donation from Councillor Dale, who wanted to donate the funding of the stocks. So that leaves us with 1314 to spend.
Okay, is everyone understanding those figures at the moment?
Have we got a disco?
We have, but it's not when we wanted it.
We need to bring it forward a little bit.
The 4:30 one.
But it is a bank holiday, but we'll talk about it. So that's the budget update. So that figure, that outstanding note that we've got left over at the moment is 1314. Okay, so if we go on to item 7, give the suggestions. Item A, Youth Project Ignite have requested to change the venue to the Queen Square, that's from the Dell. So if we talk about that first. Michelle, would you like to explain the reasoning behind
Yes, I'm happy to, because I had a meeting with Ignite, we had a Teams meeting, and they were quite definitely against doing something in the Dell, which surprised me because I thought it was quite a nice area, but actually, and I thought it would work really well, but they are the subject experts and they gave a lot of reasons why they wouldn't be willing to run an event in the Dell. They said, firstly, their Friday night outreach work has never been done at the Dell. They'd rather do it in one of the places that they're recognised for doing their work, which would be Queen Square on the Rec. Secondly, they felt there were safeguarding issues with children going to and from the Dell and down the alleys at that time of night. They felt that it was a residential area and that they didn't want to be responsible for encouraging youths to hang around what is not a youth designated area. And there were a couple of other reasons, but essentially their risk assessment, they just weren't happy to do something there. They asked if they could use Queen Square. They said if we won't allow them to use Queen Square, their second choice would be the Rec, but they think that that would be a real compromise by moving the youth out of the centre of the town. They are happy to do all risk assessments themselves, and it will all be done in conjunction with Andy London. They are fully staffing the event, and they will, they'll essentially completely run the event. We need to give no support whatsoever, other than it would be nice to have some councillors present. If any councillors would like to be present, we need to give them names in advance for safeguarding reasons, and they'll get you a badge and things. I think they will do a very professionally run evening, but they're not willing to do it in our original location. So that's it, really.
Sounds great. Will it call? It's at the same time as the disco in here, isn't it?
No,
Or is it not now?
It's after. It was always going to be after.
Yeah, I was wondering if there's going to be a crossover or anything like that. People picking up and this going on at the same time.
With the proposed new times for the disco, the disco will finish at 6:30 and this event will start at 7:30. Anybody else got any comments? Councillor Harris.
It says here contribution £100 to firewood and hot dogs and hot chocolate.
Yeah, I was going to come on to that next. I was gonna just get the
Just
location.
wondering if it had come out of that one. 1314.
Yeah, it has, Joe. So
Fine, it's fine.
I had, as part of this conversation, I said, would you need any support from the council, obviously supporting other views, and they said if they were to buy the bits that they needed and give us their receipts, they would think it's very likely to be under the £100. So if we could make a donation up to that amount, they'd be very grateful.
Any other thoughts? Okay, my own thoughts was pretty much along the same lines as Michelle when she first told me what they'd said, but then their reasonings, I think, make absolute sense. My personal view would be possibly the Queen Square would be a better location than the recreation ground, but that's up to us all to decide on that. And I think, as they've said, they run youth events. Well, their outreach workers are out every Friday night, so they know what they're doing, really. Councillor Taylor.
Can I please make a proposal that we accept the change of location to Queen Square and that we also accept a contribution of up to £100 for supplies.
Second by Councillor Dale. All those in favour? Okay. Pride Home Care event. Have you all got a copy of the letter that was sent to us? No, that didn't go out. Okay. Shall I read it out?
Yes, please.
This one. Good afternoon. I'm aware that a booking has been made for the use of the town green on the 5th of June 2022. I tried to call today as I'm aware a phone call was made to Pride Home Care requesting more information about what we're planning so that this can be discussed in your town council meeting Monday 9th of May. I left a voicemail and stated I would put it in the email. What we would like is to hold a party on the green for our clients to celebrate the Queen's Jubilee. We were planning to hold this outside on the green, which would involve putting table and chairs out on the green. We would like to provide the clients a buffet lunch, which Pride Home Care will arrange to provide. We would like to have entertainment outside as we have previously done so before. We would like to put a couple of gazebos up. I would like to ask that the town will be accessible. Okay.
When is that dated?
It was dated on 6th of May. Yes, I know.
On the 30th of April, Pride Home Care posted on Facebook
Yes,
that they are holding the good old traditional pet
Yes.
fest. You've all seen it.
we've all
Yes.
seen it.
Am I correct in my recollection
Yes, you
that we
are.
had an incident when Pride Home Care
Yes.
did this once before,
Yes.
and we said if they did it again, we would be unlikely to approve it?
We did. There is a slight difference to this one, I believe. They are highly frustrating in their lack of communication, but there was a resolution when we first started talking about the Jubilee some meetings ago where we said we would approach them and ask if they wanted to do anything. Now, I did that. What that didn't mean is now go and plan something and not actually talk to us about it or tell us what you'd like to do. But I would imagine that they would say, well, the council said they were happy to work with us on something. Now, this got to the point the other day where the final phone call of about 4 that went into them said, if you do not email us today, your event is cancelled. We're not having this. And that's when they come forward with this. So it's a difficult one because we did originally invite them to have some input in the Jubilee, but that doesn't excuse the lack of cooperation.
If I may, they are already again, so there's already this instance which, and this was my concern at when this last happened, is that because it could be perceived as predetermined, it puts us in a compromised position where we look like we could be acting unlawfully. So that's why I was venomously against it last time. The fact of the matter is, they've actually approached my mum to ask her if she would participate in their Pride event this year on the 6th of August that's on Queen Square. Are we aware of that event as well?
We were aware they were going to put forward a request.
They're already planning it
But they
without
haven't
our
got-
permission.
No, they can plan it, but they haven't actually asked our permission yet. Well, let's concentrate on this one to start with. So, anybody else? Right, let's go through this. So first of all, we've got the issue. We have to decide if, first of all, we want them to. We think it's a suitable event to have on the Queen Square. That's a swing.
I would say, based on the fact that we once stated that they had to seek permission in order to book this, and they have gone and advertised and booked and arranged an event without this permission, that we do not give permission for it.
Okay, Councillor Taylor.
I'm mindful that actually that's a public open space and their letter states that it's an event for their clients, not for the general public. And it was my impression as well when we had those first initial discussions, which Michelle's referred to, was that, you know, they'd expressed an interest in doing something for the community,
Yes.
like how their Pride event was for the community. And this isn't for the community. If it's not for the community, are they paying for the hire of Queen Square? Are they paying for the hire of the hall?
Councillor Allen.
Much the same lines, they, and not only that, they're called the Green, in the Green, it's Green Square.
Okay,
You know, that can fool some people if they're thinking.
right,
You know, it's just, that's anything, I don't want to say that, sorry.
right, first of all, I just want to point out that we did grant permission for a private event on the square last year when there was that murder mystery thing that people had to buy tickets for, if you remember. So we have in the past, had private events. My personal concerns are that it's been advertised as a private event, and this is a national holiday, and there's already an event going on in the church grounds for a picnic, and people may want to use the square as well. So that's that's one of my concerns. Councillor Taylor.
The murder mystery, that was actually fundraising, wasn't it?
Yeah,
some of the money.
And also, anybody could have walked in the square. It wasn't, it wasn't exclusive. It was, yes, it wasn't a private use.
I'm inclined to actually say to them, we've got another meeting in 2 weeks' time, haven't we?
Yes, we have, yeah.
In 2 weeks' time. I'm inclined to ask them to amend the proposal that they're putting forward to us.
Okay.
Because I'm not happy with the fact that it's only for their clients.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else got any comments before we move on? Yes.
I'm going to play devil's advocate. All right. Do we want to antagonise anybody really? And is it such a bad thing that they do hold something? I know they've gone about it wrong. I know they haven't done it correctly. I know all of that. But if we are the cause of it being cancelled, is that going to show the council in a bad light?
I think, could we not come to I'll continue here. One possibility is come to some sort of compromise. What Councillor Taylor suggested is that we go back to them and say, we need these clarification, and because they've left it so late, it's causing issues, and it is a public holiday. So that's one option. Councillor Wenham.
Yeah, I was just going to say that I think if they had come to us and approached us beforehand, they seem to get the idea that they can put an event on and will accept it. And I don't agree with that. And, you know, yes, we will support them, but I think they've gone around, around it the wrong way,
Councillor Evans.
Well, same thing again. Last time they done it, they had an ex-mayor of Alba back. And he knew that they couldn't do what they done. But they still went ahead and done it. And they were chastised over that.
Sorry, I just wanted to add, I deal with this. I'm quite openly frustrated about it. And I know I don't have a vote on this, but I do kind of have to back Councillor McKinnon in the basis that this is, though, if you look at the clientele that they're serving here, I think it would be a shame if it wasn't allowed to happen at all, because nobody else is probably going to put something on in Attleborough that weekend, this group of people. That's just one time.
I think that's a fair comment, because their clientele aren't, probably a lot of them aren't in a position to attend street parties, whereas these are skilled workers who would know how to do it. Councillor Taylor.
Yeah, I understand what Michelle's saying, and I think that's true. But I'm still of the opinion that it's a public open space, it's a public holiday that Sunday, and I don't think that there should be a sole use on Queen Square to a business and not to the public.
I agree with that.
On that day.
Councillor Smith.
I have Sue's comment of, if we say no, we look like the bad guys, right? But we're in this position because they have publicly announced an event and put us in this position. If they had approached us and said, we would like to hold an event, it had come to us, we discussed it, we'd agreed it. And I am sure we probably would have agreed it. But we've been put in this position where we've been forced to decide either to say yes or no, but in public spotlight with something that's already been planned. And I don't think that is fair.
This is no different to what I just said, Andy.
Yeah.
You know, they've done it before and they've now done it again.
And they were told last time
And
not
they
to
were
do it.
told. No disrespect to them, what they put on will be really fantastic. But yet again, they're holding us accountable.
I think that there is,
And
sorry.
what-
just to
that's
say
the
this
thing in
before I
my
continue.
group.
I think there is an issue here that I think that they possibly don't understand the legal implications that it would be on our shoulders about events on our open spaces, and that we're not trying to stop events happening. It's just we have to make sure they're done correctly. Councillor Dale and Councillor Taylor.
I agree with everybody. It's just taken for granted that we will say yes, which we will do, I know. But I also think the letter ought to go back saying, this has been organised without consent. You do realise the Queen Square will be open to members of the public. You cannot pass it off. And any events in the future, if they're not booked in advance, will not be given permission. I think if you really actually lay it down and make sure they realise it is a public space and members of the public can go on Queen Square, whether they're there or not. Because it is, I think if you do that, then it's laid out. And in the future, we will definitely say no if it's not organised beforehand.
Well, in that principle, they've already started planning their next.
Yes, but they haven't asked, have they?
No, they haven't.
So this
think-
is why it wants
What
to
I
go
think
in
it is,
writing.
I think there's a misunderstanding that because Queen Square is on their doorstep, they think it's their front garden.
Okay, Councillor McKinnon, would you be able to work with Michelle on this and liaise?
Yeah, I'd already said to Debbie that I've done most of the town with the leaflets for the window display. The one I haven't done is Pride because they were closed on Saturday. Would it help if I had a quiet word with them and with Michelle,
Do you think
or
at least going?
do you think it needs to be
something writing.
a formal or a quiet word with them beforehand, before we put something in writing?
No, I personally think it should go in writing and be official, not woolly. And if it's in writing from the town hall, from our clerk, that lays down the procedure, I think that's how it should be, because we can pussyfoot around and they'll say, oh, you know. So I think it needs to be official.
Okay, I'm going to make a proposal that we refuse the application at the moment and a letter goes to them written by the clerk to represent their application to us for the next meeting in 2 weeks' time. Yeah, that's my proposal.
And then I think the clerk actually stresses that they can't have it private.
Yeah,
I think that is.
I mean, there is an issue on here about you. I would like to ask that the town hall be
Oh,
accessible.
that was the point I was going to
But
get.
that
They've asked
obviously,
about
if they're
town.
prepared to pay for the booking of the town hall, we can't just leave the town hall.
So can I just check then? So the proposal is that we are basically refusing the current late application
Yes.
and asking them to come back in 2 weeks.
2 weeks with an application that that they understand that it is a public space and that members of the public will be using it, and that they won't be able to access the town hall unless they pay for it.
And we will make a decision on approval for this
For
event in 2 weeks' time.
We've got a meeting 2 weeks tonight.
In which case, it's probably a good idea to ask them to postpone any advertisement of the event until
Absolutely.
they.
We
Yes,
suggest.
Yes.
until if and when they are given permission.
Yeah, that's the proposal. I don't know.
If is important.
We've got to do that.
It is.
Right.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Councillor Brennan. All those in favour? Yeah. Okay. Next, decorating the town. We were going to do it the weekend before the Jubilee, but I'm not around that weekend. So I'm asking, can we bring it forward a week to the 21st and 22nd? Is that an issue for anyone?
Will the decorations last a fortnight.
That's John, I hope.
That's what we don't want is tatty decorations.
No,
It'll be
no,
like-
plastic.
21st and 22nd
Yeah.
of May, you
Is that's, I'm proposing that.
yeah, that must be. Good, good.
Another quick one is light bulb change, item D. I'd like us to add the budget if we can. My proposal is to change the light bulbs in the lanterns for purple ones for the duration of the celebrations. You know, the
All the
lanterns,
That's just
Well,
outside.
outside.
Outside,
All
so,
the wall ones out front.
yeah,
yeah,
the
down the
wall
front.
ones, yeah.
There's 4 of them, which will probably cost us between 10 and 15 pounds.
What's that, each bulb, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might do, because they're 250 and 240.
Any thoughts, anyone?
What would they come up like on a green background?
Well, it'd be dark.
I've already asked the question.
It'd be dark.
Yes, there is a church, and that's lit out. Where you put a
Well,
light
I've got
out
some
with
at home we could
insulated
try
frame.
before we purchase them. I have got some purple bulbs.
Have you?
Yeah, we could try them before we purchase.
Are they,
Anyway, so moving on. Do I need to propose that? Yeah, I'm proposing that we investigate and possibly purchase 4 light bulbs to change the lanterns to purple for the duration. Seconded by Councillor Taylor. All those in favour? Yeah. Okay, Jubilee program.
who are you going to get to put the light bulbs in?
Aren't the who normally changes the light bulbs in the building?
Not a caretaker.
Caretaker or-
Yeah, it can do.
We've got another caretaker now.
That is true. yeah.
Do we?
We do.
Here,
Very exciting.
Exciting times,
Right,
yeah.
item 8, Jubilee programme, A5 leaflet and distribution. So a souvenir programme stroke leaflet. We had discussions, we've been talking about starting up this quarterly newsletter for the town. And as you can see, we've got a bit of money left in the budget anyway. So one thing is we produce an 8-page A5 leaflet, which could include, obviously as a centrepiece, the events. The front cover could possibly be involved in the winning logo. The Heritage Group have got an event that would take up the page. So, and the back page could be forthcoming events. So we're looking at going back to the cost that we looked at before with a newsletter. We're looking at around £500 to produce enough for every household, and then probably around another 500 to distribute it. The post office, we're too late to distribute it with the post office, but there is a conversation we need to have in that Councillor McKinnon has been going around approaching all the shops in the high street about the window competition, and many of them have said they'd be happy to have these programmes to give out. Plus, we could put them in the doctor's surgery, in the schools, in the libraries. So that would save us money on distribution. So I'm opening the floor and saying, what do you all think?
you said about the logo, I think that's great, and the render logo that we've seen that's been sent out looks brilliant.
Yeah.
I also think you could have a page with all the entrance,
Yeah.
so that
Yeah.
all those
Yeah, all
kids
the-
at Chuck Park can see it in there. That could be a couple of
We had
pages.
already said that.
Nice. Any other things? Anyone? No?
Just if anybody's interested, the ones that I got very quickly were Abbygate, From Me to You, The Hideout, QD, Number 10, The Dog Food Shop, and Tony Perkins, and Tim at the Bakers. Taylor had already said that the pubs would do it. So we've got a fair spread of type of shops that would take the thing if we would require them to do so.
I was just going to say, did you try nuts and bolts?
I haven't, no.
Because they
Yeah,
they would.
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure I
and
can do a fair
SW
spread all
Michael
around
would have
town.
done.
We've got a window display as well.
Have you?
Yes, partly there, but it's there.
Councillor Taylor.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I can only speak for my mum and my granddad's businesses, but I think the good thing if we did go and approach all of the pubs in town and ask them to take them, if that was the direction that we want to take, is that, you know, they might be recycled a little bit. So, you know, people are staying,
Well-
rather than taking them straight out of the shop, with them when they leave,
Yeah.
they might get reused again, do you know what I mean?
I only did this as a sort of straw poll to see whether it was a viable prospect, and
I think
yes, it
it's a really
seems to
good
be.
idea.
Well, I think as well, we've talked about producing a regular newsletter, and this could be a trial run to see. Obviously, we'll get so many prints, we'll know how many we've got left over that don't get used, so we can see whether it's a worthwhile way of distributing for future, because £500 spent on distribution for each newsletter is it's a lot of money, it's a lot of money out of our budget. These figures are all without any advertising in. Now, I know that there are a couple of businesses have said once we start the proper newsletter, they'd be happy to put an advert in. But to start small with an 8-page, which I'm happy to send it together, because this is going to be pretty simple. You know, it's like you're not going to have loads of editorial in, and then have it printed. Might be another way of sort of killing two birds with one stone. Councillor Smith.
The answer is yes.
No, I had something to say and I've forgotten it, sorry.
Anyway, I'm mindful of time, so I'm going to propose that, my proposal is that we go ahead and produce an 8-page Jubilee
I remember it,
programme.
sorry, I remember it. What's the lead time on this? Because it's only a month before these will be needed.
By the end of this week. That's
So it's
one.
got to be designed and ready.
Well, it's I've got rough ideas.
So-
yeah,
So is it just you, are we getting a chance to look at it after it's
of
been
course,
designed
yeah,
or
yeah, I'll
Just on that, haven't we got an informal meeting next week?
no, we've got an informal meeting on the Monday before Jubilee.
Okay, in that case, I need to make some comments on this. I'm really happy to support you with this and help get it printed. I go on holiday next week. I'm here till next Friday, and then I've got a week off.
This coming Friday.
No, Friday
Oh, that's
after.
fine. Yeah.
So after the 19th, I'm away for a week. So if you need me to help with any kind of formatting, to get that sent to print, we're going to have to make sure that's done before then.
Well, I want that done this week.
Fine.
That's
Fine, okay, I just wanted to put that out there.
I think the sooner they go out.
And also on that comment, I noticed, and I know you said don't take this to heart, but my name is next to nearly all of these items.
That's because I just want to.
And as long as we understand that
Yeah.
we need to have some of the people leading some elements of
Yeah.
this, but you know, I'll help where I can.
Sorry, one last point, I know you want to move on. An idea for it would be Jubilee memories from previous Jubilees. For example, I remember being a little boy at the Silver Jubilee, stuff that happened there, and there may be people even older than me who remember back to earlier, and that could be a nice little bit where people could put some memories in. But you need to sort of put the word out to get those from people.
And it is
Well,
Jubilee year, so we could continue for the year, you know, I suppose in Council London.
You need to contact Cliff Amos then, the Heritage Group, because he's got a lot of information on previous Jubilees.
Okay, so the proposal is then that we go ahead, we didn't get this ratified, did we? That we go ahead and produce the 8-page Jubilee programme and distribute as discussed. Could I have a second of that, please? Councillor Ellis, and all those in favour? Okay, so the next bit is public participation. Then after that, correspondence, and then after that, any other business. So I just want to quickly nip back to, was there anything that we said we would discuss? Sue, would you like to give a quick update on the reception you've had from the shopkeepers?
Oh, marvellous, very, very positive reception. With a few that I've got mop-ups to do. I've done every shop from Sainsbury's right the way down and back up again as far as, what's the one, Roden Scoundrels. The vast majority of them have either given or promised me tombola prizes. They were very receptive to the window display, and some of them sort of said, yes, we'll do it, but we can't compete with some of those that have got bigger windows and bigger budgets. So, but I explained that the whole point was, yes, it's nice to win, but to actually let's dress the town and make the town, and everybody was in, you know, I don't think I had anybody that said no, unless it was something like, I think it was QD, but I can't remember. They can only do things that are specified by head office, which is perfectly acceptable. The response was amazing. People either gave me stuff there and then, I've got a whole box of stuff at home, or they're going to drop them off at the town hall, which I'd already spoken to Paula about, or phone me or message me. And then what I'm going to do sort of the end of next week is put a thing out on the Facebook page, or get Debbie to say, you know, anybody that promised me tombola prizes, have you handed them in? Not that I'm nag at all, it's.
Can I just say, there's a couple businesses in Connaught Road, which I'm sure would get involved. The
Yeah.
kitchen
We
place
have,
and the tanning, and even Donna.
tanning is
Kissinger.
already done and they've
Oh,
already
right.
donated. As I've spoken also to Kissinger's on that bit of the road. What I haven't done yet is the solicitors and all the professional offices down there.
Right.
So they're part of my mop-up group, and as I said, people like Pride who weren't open on the Saturday. So I've sort of got a list of mop-up people to do, but in the main, the most of the high street is already done, and really, yes, in favour of it.
Okay, anybody else got anything they want to raise? Councillor Taylor.
Yeah, so I've had quite a good take up so far on stalls, on pitches for the Fae. I just wanted to double check how many we've got. How many market stalls we've got.
Oh, how many actual stalls?
How many
we've got?
stalls and how
Sorry,
many
I thought you meant how
barrows?
many are booked. I
Oh,
thought
no.
Paula would know that. Barrows, we've got at least 15, haven't we? The market stalls, do you know? Can I come back to you tomorrow with that?
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. So far, there's a possible 13 that have had take up an interest in it. So, and some have already provided their public liability. So I'll just go to Paula because she sent me the one she had. And I said I'd liaise with her on that to save her some work. And then the Teddy Bears picnic, so far I had 11 children take up on that as well. I did notice on the church's advertising that it's not through the council. So once they've got the numbers, are they going to?
Yeah, I did raise that.
And they're
didn't I?
gonna-
That
they're
we
gonna
might mention
because-
on the poster. I'll touch base with Matthew.
Just so
again
that
next week.
we can just keep track of numbers.
Yeah,
because I
definitely.
said everything that I get, I'd send over to Paula.
Yeah.
And then lastly, when I was doing the rounds today, because I went and spoke to Tony Perkins to confirm that he was still wanting to put in a barbecue, because obviously it had been muted earlier. And he said, yes, he would. He said that if we wanted sausages for the beacon lighting, he could do us a special price, and he could do us £150.
That's good.
So just putting that out there, because I do think if we're funding it, we should probably look at supporting local rather than going to super.
Absolutely. So will you speak to Tim about that?
I tried that today, he said he'll come back to me. He didn't. He
Do
said
you want me to have a go at it?
he'll sort something out,
It's
so.
just probably he's top of everybody's road for feeding stocks at the moment. Councillor Dale.
Can I ask how many stores you actually booked in the end, old fashioned stores? You know, get games.
Well, most of them are sold out. I think
Four or
it's
five.
4 or 5. We've got the stocks. We've got the like the tin can
That's
alley.
right, those were the two ones.
I think it's 4, Vera.
Yeah.
There's
Have
a
you got enough
cottage.
space for all these stalls and games and
Oh.
everything else? This is
Yeah.
my
Stalls would
concern.
I think the idea was the stores would go on the road around here, so
Yeah.
you've got bouncy castle. haven't you?
Well, I've had someone inquire about providing a bouncy castle. Did anyone have a measure up from Michelle to see?
I didn't have anyone. We'll do it this week.
Okay.
But we think it's okay. We think we know where it'll go. But I'll get them to check tomorrow.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
I think it would be, if we could try and keep the square
For the kiddie
for the
stuff.
Litleys
and
and then
games.
put the other stuff
Stores round them.
around the edge
that's fine.
from a safe.
That's fine. So I was just beginning to think. Thank you.
Councillor Ellis.
You're putting in the roof closure on the square, aren't you?
That's
The
done,
whole,
that's
just
done.
from where you come in here, up to the
Just the
Rylands at the top.
pedestrianised area.
Just
Yeah, so you can still
down here.
access Queen Square.
Obviously, this bit down here, so,
Thank you.
so them stalls could do exactly where them are.
Yeah.
Fine, that's okay then.
Thank you.
Is that it, everyone?
Mhm.
Date and time next week and 2 weeks tonight. And that's Jubilee again.
So, next meeting date,
Sorry?
next meeting date is
23rd, 23rd of May.
If we closed the meeting, was there an issue earlier with the time for the parade?
Not an issue, no. I'd drafted an email this morning
Oh,
to go out
right.
to the schools and the nurseries and primary school. And I couldn't remember what time it was.
Oh, is that okay? Because
Yeah.
I thought we said gather from 12,
That makes
go
sense.
at 12:30. So I've got the road closure from like 12:10 till 12:50 or something to give us time to get through to
That makes
here.
sense.
Is that okay?
Yeah, we knew that 12 and 12.
I knew it was around 12 o'clock.
and
You've got-
this closure out here is all right.
Yes,
Right.
so I asked for
Good.
it's about an hour for either side to be out and then all day on Bed Square.
Debbie, what time?
Into
In 2 weeks, 6 o'clock.
Yeah, so, but to close the meeting. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, to close the meeting closed then.